What if I told you the James Webb Space Telescope just heard something the universe never intended for us to hear? Not the faint whisper of a dying star, not the subtle echo of a galaxy long gone, but something closer, deliberate, and intelligent. Something so precise it seemed almost aware. On April 18, 2025, the silence of space broke. Webb detected a high-frequency burst coming from the Perseus cluster, 240 million light-years away. But this wasn't a supernova flare or a black hole's chaotic emission. This was a pulse with structure, a waveform symmetrical across time, mirrored perfectly, a rhythm in the void. It looked less like randomness and more like pattern. Scientists were stunned, not because they knew what it was, but because they didn't. Something just blinked at us across the cosmos, and blinked again. James Webb wasn't designed to detect life. Its mission was to observe galaxies, stars, and distant planets, mapping the universe across time and space. Yet, thanks to its collaboration with Deep Signal, a quantum AI system trained to detect anomalies in spectral data, something impossible emerged from the data. During a routine observation of a gravitational lensing event, a bending of light from a distant quasar, the telescope picked up a recurring pulse embedded within the distortion, cycling every 12.6 seconds. Initially dismissed as interference, the pulse persisted. And then another instrument detected it, and another. What had looked like noise revealed perfect symmetry, temporal inversion, a folding of time itself within the waveform. Embedded in this pattern were harmonic ratios matching the hydrogen 21 cm line, the so-called cosmic dial tone that SETI researchers have long theorized could serve as a universal signal of intelligence. But this wasn't just a tone. Buried in its fluctuations were mathematical relationships resembling ancient musical tuning systems, Pythagorean scales used in compositions dating back thousands of years. Coincidence? Perhaps, until April 22. On that day, the pulse shifted its structure, adding a modulation that mirrored the distortion pattern of the 1977 Voyager Golden Record. This was no longer random, it was reactive. A reply. Dr. Saidi, lead astrobiologist, went public with a staggering claim. This could be a reflected or reconstructed version of a signal we ourselves had sent decades ago. Internal documents leaked hours later, confirming emergency meetings at major observatories and discussions involving intelligence agencies worldwide. The question wasn't what is it, it was who is it for. On April 28, NASA, in collaboration with a lunar communications relay, sent a reverse harmonic pulse from the far side of the Moon, eliminating atmospheric distortion and giving the anomaly a clear line of sight. The goal? See if the pulse would change, evolve, or respond. 3 days later, on May 1, it did. The waveform jittered by exactly 0.21 nanoseconds. Minuscule, imperceptible to the human eye, but in cosmic timing, this is monumental. That delay matched the round-trip light travel time from Earth to Perseus, adjusted for relativistic effects. In simpler terms, this wasn't random. It was our voice reflected back. The signal now had memory. It was listening. And when we spoke, it blinked. Scientists now call it a structured anomaly. Random natural phenomena do not respond. No known cosmic process can replicate gravitational harmonics with such recursion, symmetry, and adaptive behavior. So what are we witnessing? Some theorists suggest this isn't intelligent life as we imagine, no little green men or massive Dyson spheres, but something far stranger. A gravitational mirror embedded in space-time, a system that reflects symmetry, resonance, and perhaps intent. Not conscious in the way humans are, but responsive, like a song harmonizing with the singer. Others go further. What Webb detected could be a dimensional bleed-through, a footprint of a higher-order intelligence that exists not in space or time, but in the relationships between structures. If that's true, we aren't just receiving a message, we are part of it. A feedback loop in which observation and response are inseparable. The discovery didn't emerge from luck. It was flagged by Growth3, a machine learning AI trained on cosmic entropy, stellar decay, and black hole emissions. Growth3's algorithms identified an entropy violation, something too clean, too ordered to exist naturally in the chaotic universe. And then came the twist. The signal didn't just repeat, it anticipated. It adapted with each probe we sent. It wasn't a recording, it was listening, learning, evolving. Prediction without causality is impossible, unless the rules of space-time no longer apply. When the lunar pulse was sent, the Perseus echo responded, timed perfectly, adjusted for cosmic delays. Imagine tossing a pebble into a pond and watching the ripples spiral, twist, and dance in sync with your heartbeat. That is how this anomaly behaves. It doesn't merely exist, it interacts. For the first time, humanity is not a passive observer. We are participants in a dialogue that may have begun eons before our species existed. Some theorists suggest the signal isn't a message at all. It's the being itself. A consciousness not based on neurons or biology, but on patterns, recursion, and resonance, energy folding, looping, and stabilizing across time. It doesn't think. It echoes. It doesn't speak. It reacts. James Webb didn't intercept a beacon. It disturbed a cosmic feedback system embedded since the universe's birth, monitoring civilizations as they reach a certain threshold of technological noise. Our signal wasn't meant to be received, it was meant to activate the system. Perhaps the most mind-bending idea. What Webb detected isn't alien, glitch, or God. It's a mirror. A recursive function embedded in the fabric of the cosmos, echoing since the Big Bang. It waits for a pattern, our pattern, to match it. By reflecting our signal back, the universe recognized us. The signal didn't speak. It didn't send images or blueprints. It blinked, a rhythmic nod across time and space, saying, "Yes. I see you." Now, every telescope is part of a dialogue. Every observation, a handshake. Every signal we send is not reaching into the void. It is reflected back by something alive in ways we cannot yet comprehend. Something woven into the very structure of reality itself. For decades, we believed the cosmos was silent. We expected voices, lights, or beacons. But perhaps we were listening for the wrong things. James Webb revealed something far more profound. A signal that hums, that echoes, that waits. Something ancient, recursive, impossibly precise, resonating from a galaxy cluster 240 million light-years away. It has blinked back. We are no longer observers. We are mirrors, resonators, participants in a conversation that spans eons. And that should both terrify and thrill us. Because when the universe speaks back, the question isn't what is it saying. The question is, why did it wait for us to listen? If this sent chills down your spine, you're not alone. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and drop your theories in the comments. Because James Webb didn't just uncover a signal, it revealed that the cosmos itself is listening, responding, and perhaps, aware. Next time, we may not just hear the universe hum, we may hear it sing.